There is something inside of you that the world is waiting for, something placed within you before you were even born. But the question is, will you bring it out, or will you let obstacles stop you? Every great person who ever succeeded had a moment when they could have given up. They faced disappointments, rejection, pain, and even failure. But the difference between those who make history and those who become history is one decision. They refuse to quit. You must understand that the challenges you face are not designed to destroy you. They are designed to strengthen you. Every struggle is a test of your endurance, a measure of your faith, and a preparation for what's ahead. The fact that you are facing resistance means that something great is inside of you. Diamonds are formed under pressure, gold is refined in fire, and leaders are shaped in adversity. Life was never designed to be easy. If it were, everyone would succeed without struggle, and there would be no need for faith, endurance, or perseverance. But the reality is, everything valuable in life comes with a process, and that process often includes challenges. Many people look at struggles as a sign that they are failing, but that is not true. The presence of difficulty does not mean the absence of destiny. In fact, the very challenges you face are designed to prepare you for what is ahead. A seed must be buried in the ground, pressed beneath the soil, and endure darkness before it can sprout into a tree. Gold must go through intense heat before its true value is revealed. Likewise, the challenges in your life are the refining process that brings out the greatness within you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that pain is punishment. They believe that when things go wrong, it is a sign that they are on the wrong path. But if you study history, if you look at every great leader, inventor, or visionary, you will notice something. They all went through challenges. The difference between them and those who gave up is how they responded to the pressure. Some people allow difficulty to break them, while others use it as a stepping stone to rise higher. Which one will you be? Adversity is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to develop you. If you run from every difficulty, you will never grow. Muscles are strengthened through resistance. Athletes don't become champions by avoiding the hard work. They embrace it. In the same way, you must stop seeing obstacles as problems and start seeing them as preparation. Sometimes the challenges you face are there to test your endurance. Will you keep going when things don't happen as fast as you expected? Will you still believe in your vision when doors close in your face? If you quit at the first sign of struggle, you were never committed in the first place. Real commitment is tested when giving up seems like the easiest option. That is where true character is formed. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, and imprisoned. If anyone had a reason to give up, it was him. But Joseph understood something powerful. What was meant for evil, God was using for good. His challenges were not obstacles. They were steps leading him to his destiny. And when the time was right, he was elevated to a position he never imagined. What about David? Before he became a king, he had to face a lion, a bear, and a giant. Each challenge prepared him for the next. If he had run from the lion, he would never have been ready for the bear. If he had run from the bear, he would never have had the confidence to face Goliath. Every challenge he overcame gave him the strength he needed for the next level. You must start seeing your difficulties the same way. What if the struggle you are facing right now is not a sign of failure, but a sign that you are on the right track? What if it is simply part of the process? Every great vision must go through a season of testing. If you cannot handle the small struggles, how will you handle the greater responsibility that comes with success? Most people pray for success, but run from the process. They want the reward without the endurance, the results without the struggle. But life does not work that way. Even Jesus had to go through the wilderness before stepping into his full assignment. The wilderness is not the end. It is a place of preparation. You must make a decision today. Will you allow challenges to stop you, or will you use them to build you? Will you complain about the struggle, or will you embrace it as part of your journey? Champions are not made in comfort. They are made in battle. Diamonds do not form in soft conditions. They are shaped under pressure. So, if you are facing challenges right now, don't quit. If life feels tough, don't back down. The struggle you are in today is building the strength you will need tomorrow. Your challenges are not there to break you. They are there to prepare you. You must not give up. The very fact that you are facing resistance is proof that there is something valuable inside of you. No one attacks what is worthless. No one fights for something that has no value. The reason you are facing challenges, setbacks, and opposition is because there is something inside of you that the world needs. If there was nothing special about you, there would be no pressure against you. Look at an eagle. When the storm comes, the eagle does not run from the wind. Instead, it spreads its wings and uses the storm to rise higher. That is the mindset you must have. Too many people see resistance as a sign to stop. But those who understand purpose know that resistance is an indication to push harder. If life were always easy, you would never grow, and your potential would remain buried inside of you. Every time you decide to step into something great, expect resistance. The moment you choose to rise above average, there will be opposition. That is why most people remain in their comfort zone. They avoid the struggle, but in doing so, they also avoid their destiny. Anything great requires a fight. Every breakthrough comes with a battle. If you are facing resistance, it means you are on the right path. Have you ever wondered why successful people talk about their struggles more than their victories? It is because they understand that their struggles were what shaped them. Without resistance, there would be no strength. Without hardship, there would be no growth. If you never have to push against something, you will never develop the endurance to handle what is coming. A seed can only grow when it is buried. If you never experience pressure, your true potential will never be revealed. Some people allow resistance to make them bitter, while others use it to make them better. The difference is in perspective. Do you see your challenges as obstacles, or do you see them as opportunities? When a tree grows, the deeper its roots go, the stronger it becomes. But those roots do not grow deep in comfortable conditions. They grow deep because of resistance. The wind pushes against the tree, and instead of falling, the tree digs its roots deeper. The same is true for you. Every challenge is an opportunity to dig deeper, to develop greater strength, and to become unshakable. History has shown that the greatest leaders, inventors, and visionaries all faced tremendous resistance. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years before becoming a global symbol of leadership. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections before becoming one of the greatest presidents. What if they had given up? What if they had allowed resistance to stop them? The world would have never seen their greatness. You must realize that the pressure you feel today is evidence that something great is inside of you. If you were meant to be ordinary, life would be easy. But because you are destined for greatness, resistance is part of your journey. The enemy does not attack what is weak, he attacks what is strong. This is why you cannot quit. You cannot allow temporary struggles to rob you of permanent success. If you let the pressure break you, you will never see what is on the other side. Your dreams, your purpose, your calling. It all depends on your ability to push through resistance. Some of you have been wondering why things have been so hard. Why doors have not opened as quickly as you expected. Why you have faced rejection, failure, or unexpected delays. But let me tell you, those are not signs to stop. They are signs to keep going. Because the closer you get to your breakthrough, the more resistance you will feel. The enemy is afraid of what will happen when you step into your full potential. Think about a plane. The most resistance comes when it is about to take off. The strongest winds hit just before elevation. But if the pilot stopped accelerating, the plane would never leave the ground. The same is true for you. The hardest moments often come right before the breakthrough. You must shift your mindset. Stop running from resistance and start embracing it. Stop seeing opposition as a sign to quit and start seeing it as proof that you are on the right track. The fact that you are facing challenges means that something great is inside of you. So, what will you do? Will you let resistance stop you, or will you push through it? Will you allow pressure to defeat you, or will you use it to rise? The choice is yours. You must not give up. Your success is not just about you. The decisions you make, the battles you fight, and the victories you win are connected to people you may never meet. Every great person who has ever walked this earth did not just live for themselves. They lived for something greater. That is why you cannot afford to give up. Someone is depending on you to make it. Too many people think that their struggles are personal, that their journey only affects them. But what if I told you that your breakthrough is the key to someone else's freedom? What if your success is the answer to someone else's prayer? Every person on this earth was born with a unique gift. And that gift was never meant to serve you alone. It was meant to serve others. Look at history. Martin Luther King Jr. could have chosen to stay silent, but because he stood up for justice, generations were impacted. Nelson Mandela could have surrendered to discouragement, but because he endured, millions found freedom. What if David had refused to fight Goliath? Israel would have remained in fear. What if Moses had given up in the wilderness? A whole nation would have never seen the promised land. Your life is bigger than you. Your struggles, your pain, your journey, it is not just about you. Someone is watching you. Someone is looking to you for inspiration. Someone needs to see that success is possible so that they can believe for themselves. If you quit now, you are not just letting yourself down, you are letting them down. Think about a bridge. A bridge does not exist for itself. It exists to help others cross over. Your life is a bridge for someone else. The lessons you learn, the battles you fight, the victories you win, they become the testimony that helps someone else make it through. But if you stop in the middle of the process, that bridge remains unfinished. And when others come to cross, they will find nothing but a dead end. Every gift you have, every talent, every idea, it was given to you for a reason. There is a person, a community, maybe even a generation that will benefit from what you carry. That is why you cannot afford to sit on your potential. You must rise up, push through every challenge, and walk in your purpose. The world is filled with people who quit too soon. They had dreams, but they gave up. They had vision, but they allowed fear to stop them. And because they stopped, the people who were meant to be blessed by their purpose never received what they needed. Do not be one of those people. Do not let fear, doubt, or hardship rob the world of what you were created to give. You may feel like the pressure is too much. You may feel like quitting would be easier, but think about the people who need you to keep going. Think about the young boy or girl who will one day hear your story and find hope. Think about the family that will be changed because you refuse to settle. Think about the legacy you will leave behind. There are people right now who are waiting for you to step into your purpose. There are lives attached to your obedience. There are destinies connected to your decision to keep going. Every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, you are making a way for someone else. This is not just about success. It is about responsibility. It is about impact. It is about fulfilling the assignment that was placed inside of you before you were even born. You were not created to live for yourself. You were created to be a light, a leader, a solution to a problem in this world. So do not quit. Do not allow obstacles to stop you. The resistance you feel is not just about you. It is about the people who need what you carry. Your success is connected to someone else's destiny. You must not give up. Too many people spend their lives looking back at what they lost instead of focusing on what they have left. They dwell on past failures, missed opportunities, and painful experiences, allowing their history to dictate their destiny. But the truth is, as long as you are still breathing, you still have something left. And what you have left is always more than enough to create a new future. You cannot afford to waste your energy mourning what is gone. Yes, life may have knocked you down. Yes, you may have lost time, relationships, money, or even opportunities. But if you keep looking back, you will never move forward. Imagine trying to drive a car while staring at the rearview mirror. It is only a matter of time before you crash. The only way to move toward your destiny is to shift your focus forward. When Samuel was mourning the fall of King Saul, God asked him a powerful question. How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him? In other words, why are you still crying over something I've already moved past? Some of you are holding on to things that God has already told you to release. You are still grieving over what was, instead of preparing for what is to come. God told Samuel to fill his horn with oil and move on, because there was another king waiting, David. That means every time you lose something, there is something greater ahead, but you will never see it if you remain stuck in regret. If you lost a job, there is a better one ahead. If a relationship ended, there is something greater in store. If a door closed, another one is opening, but you have to stop looking at what you lost and start focusing on what you have left. When Jesus fed the 5,000, he didn't focus on what was missing. He focused on what was available. The disciples told him there wasn't enough food, but Jesus took what they had, blessed it, and multiplied it. What you have left is always enough in the hands of God. The problem is not a lack of resources. The problem is a lack of faith in what you have left. You must stop letting the past control you. Some of you have been stuck in the same place for years because you are still blaming yourself for something that happened long ago. You keep replaying the mistake, the disappointment, the failure. But regret will never change the past. The only thing regret does is rob you of the future. You cannot undo yesterday, but you can shape tomorrow. The enemy wants to keep you distracted by your losses because he knows that if you ever focus on what you have left, you will rise again. He wants you to believe that it is over, that you have nothing left, that there is no way forward. But that is a lie. You still have something inside of you. You still have gifts, talents, ideas, and a purpose that has not yet been fulfilled. Think about Job. He lost everything. His wealth, his family, his health, all gone in an instant. But Job did not allow his losses to define his future. Instead, he trusted God. And in the end, he received double for everything he lost. What if he had given up? What if he had accepted defeat? He would have never seen the restoration that was waiting for him. You must understand that what is ahead of you is always greater than what is behind you. Your future is bigger than your past. The enemy wants to convince you that your best days are over, but God is saying, I am not done with you yet. If you lost everything but still have breath in your lungs, that means there is still something for you to accomplish. So the question is, what will you do? Will you keep crying over what is gone, or will you use what you have left to build something greater? Will you allow regret to keep you trapped, or will you step into the future with faith? The time has come to let go. Let go of the pain. Let go of the disappointment. Let go of the failures. What you lost is not greater than what God still has for you. Stop looking at what you lost and start seeing the possibilities of what you have left. Because what you have left is enough to start again. You must not give up. Failure is not the end. It is only final when you refuse to get back up. Too many people allow one mistake, one setback, or one disappointment to define their entire future. But the truth is, Failure is never meant to be a dead end. It is meant to be a lesson, a stepping stone, a tool that shapes you into who you are meant to be. The greatest mistake you can make is allowing failure to stop you. It does not matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times you rise. Falling is not the problem. Staying down is. A child learning to walk will fall many times before they take their first step. But no parent stops them from trying. Why? Because they understand that falling is part of the process. And if the child keeps getting up, eventually they will walk. Eventually they will run. Some of the greatest success stories in history came from people who refused to let failure stop them. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally created the light bulb. He could have given up after the first few attempts, but he understood something powerful. Every failure brought him one step closer to success. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper because they said he lacked creativity. Imagine if he had believed that lie. Today, his name is one of the most recognized in the world. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television, but she did not let that stop her. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but he used that failure to fuel his greatness. What if they had given up? The problem is not failure. The problem is how you respond to it. Most people allow failure to break them, but champions allow failure to make them. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. That is what separates successful people from those who quit. It is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It is perseverance. Look at Peter. He was one of Jesus' disciples, yet he failed many times. He spoke without thinking, he sank in the water when his faith wavered, and in Jesus' most critical moment, Peter denied him 3 times. But Jesus did not see Peter as a failure. He saw Peter's potential. And when Peter got back up, he became one of the greatest leaders in history. Judas, on the other hand, also failed. But instead of getting back up, he allowed guilt and shame to consume him. The difference between Peter and Judas was not the size of their mistakes. It was their response. Peter repented, refocused, and kept moving forward, while Judas allowed failure to destroy him. You must decide which one you will be. Some of you have allowed a past failure to keep you stuck. You tried something, it didn't work, and now you are afraid to try again. But failure is only an event, not an identity. Just because you failed does not mean you are a failure. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by your ability to rise after them. When a boxer is knocked down in the ring, the fight is not over unless he stays on the ground. As long as he gets back up before the count is finished, he still has a chance to win. Life will knock you down, but you must decide if you will stay down or rise again. The Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times, but gets back up again. That means even the strongest, even the most faithful, even the most determined will fall. But their strength is not in never falling. It is in never staying down. The key to winning is to keep getting up. You must stop seeing failure as the end. Instead, start seeing it as a lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What can I do differently? Every failure contains wisdom, but only those who refuse to quit will gain from it. You cannot let one bad chapter make you close the whole book. Your story is still being written. There is still more ahead. If you keep moving, if you keep learning, if you keep trying, you will eventually see victory. But if you quit, you will never know what could have been. Failure is only final if you refuse to get back up. You must not give up. Your mind is the battleground where victory or defeat is determined. Before you ever win in life, you must first win in your mind. Before you ever see success, you must believe it is possible. Every great achievement starts with the right mindset, and every failure begins with doubt. The enemy does not have to take away your abilities. He just has to convince you that you cannot do it. Because once you believe you are defeated, you have already lost. This is why you must guard your mind. You cannot afford to let negative thoughts take root. You cannot afford to dwell on fear, doubt, or insecurity. What you meditate on will shape your actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you do not have what it takes, that success is for others but not for you, then you will never even try. And if you never try, you will never win. Look at the story of the 12 spies sent to scout the promised land. 10 of them came back saying, "We cannot do it. The giants are too big. We are like grasshoppers in our own eyes." Notice what they said. Not in the eyes of the giants, but in their own eyes. They had already lost in their minds before ever fighting a battle. But Joshua and Caleb had a different mindset. They saw the same giants, the same obstacles, the same challenges, but they believed that they could win. And because they believed it, they were the only ones who entered the promised land. The problem is never the size of your enemy. The problem is always the state of your mind. The same situation that causes one person to quit is the same situation that pushes another person to succeed. The difference is perspective. One sees failure, the other sees opportunity. One sees a reason to quit, the other sees a reason to fight harder. What do you see? You must reprogram your thinking. If you have spent years believing the wrong things about yourself, it will take time to change your mindset. But change is possible. You must start speaking life into your situation. Instead of saying, "I can't," start saying, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Instead of saying, "This is impossible," start saying, "With God, all things are possible." Your words have power, and what you declare over your life will shape your future. This is why successful people think differently. They do not see failure as an end, they see it as a lesson. They do not allow fear to control them, they use it as fuel to keep pushing forward. They do not dwell on their limitations, they focus on their possibilities. They understand that everything begins in the mind. You must take control of your thoughts. Do not allow the enemy to fill your mind with lies. Do not allow negative people to speak doubt into your dreams. Do not allow past failures to convince you that you cannot win. If you want to change your life, you must first change your mind. Think about David before he fought Goliath. Everyone around him was afraid. They saw the giant and they believed they were too weak to fight. But David saw something different. He did not see an undefeatable giant. He saw an opportunity for victory. While others focused on the size of Goliath, David focused on the size of his God. And because his mindset was right, he stepped onto the battlefield with confidence and he won. What are the giants in your life that you have been afraid to face? What dreams have you abandoned because of fear? What opportunities have you walked away from because you did not believe in yourself? It is time to renew your mind. It is time to break free from negative thinking. It is time to start believing in what is possible. You are not weak. You are not defeated. You are not a failure. You are more than a conqueror. But you will never walk in that truth until you believe it. Your mind is the battlefield, and if you win there, you will win everywhere else. So, what will you choose? Will you allow fear, doubt, and insecurity to control you? Or will you take hold of the truth that you are capable, strong, and destined for greatness? The battle is in your mind, and you must win it. You must not give up. There is a reason you are here. You were not created by accident. You are not a mistake. You are not just another person passing through life without purpose. You were born for something greater. There is something inside of you that the world needs, something only you can give. And if you give up now, the world will never experience the fullness of what you were meant to bring. Too many people live without realizing their purpose. They move through life aimlessly, reacting to circumstances instead of taking control of their destiny. They allow the pressures of life, the opinions of others, and the weight of disappointment to convince them that their existence does not matter. But nothing could be further from the truth. You were created with intention. You were placed on this earth for a reason, and that reason is bigger than your struggles, bigger than your pain, and bigger than every obstacle standing in your way. Purpose is what separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. When you understand why you are here, you no longer waste time. You no longer settle. You no longer allow difficulties to discourage you, because you know that what is inside of you is greater than anything that comes against you. When you have a strong sense of purpose, you wake up every day with determination. You keep pushing, you keep striving, you keep believing, because you know you were made for more. Look at a seed. When you see it in its original form, it looks small, insignificant, and without value. But inside that seed is an entire tree. Inside that seed is the potential for fruit, for shade, for life. But if the seed never goes into the ground, if it never goes through the process of being buried, of being broken, of being tested, it will never grow into what it was meant to be. You are like that seed. There is something great inside of you, but it will never come out unless you go through the process. And yes, the process is painful. Yes, the process requires patience. Yes, the process requires endurance. But when you push through, you will see the harvest of what was always inside of you. Many people give up before they see the fruit of their purpose. They allow temporary pain to make them quit on their eternal assignment. They allow rejection, failure, and struggle to convince them that they were never meant for greatness. But purpose does not change because of hardship. Purpose is what sustains you through hardship. No matter what you go through, your purpose remains. Look at Joseph. He had a dream of leadership, but before he reached his destiny, he was betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused and thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused and thrown into prison. But his purpose never changed. Every setback was a setup for something greater. If Joseph had given up in the pit, he would have never reached the palace. If he had quit in the prison, he would have never stepped into his position of power. But he held on, he endured, and in the end, he saw the fulfillment of his destiny. What about you? Are you allowing the struggles of today to make you abandon the purpose you were created for? Are you allowing temporary challenges to make you forget that there is something greater ahead? You must not give up. Your story is not over. Your purpose is still alive. There is still something inside of you that the world has not yet seen. Do not let fear stop you. Do not let doubt hold you back. Do not let the opinions of others make you settle for less than what you were created for. The world is waiting for what you carry. There are people who need your gifts, your wisdom, your ideas, your leadership. There are lives that will be changed because you refuse to quit. No one else can fulfill the purpose you were created for. No one else can do what you were designed to do. If you do not step into your destiny, the world will miss out on the greatness that was placed inside of you. So rise up, step forward, keep going, because you were born for something greater. You must not give up, my friend. Life will test you. Challenges will come, obstacles will rise, and moments of doubt will whisper that quitting is the easiest way out. But you must remember, you were built for this. You were created with strength, with purpose, and with everything you need to overcome. The struggles you face are not there to break you. They are there to shape you, to refine you, and to prepare you for the greatness ahead. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter what failures you have faced, no matter what losses you have endured, you still have something left. And what you have left is enough to begin again. Do not let setbacks define you. Do not let failure stop you. Do not let fear hold you back. Your destiny is still waiting. And as long as you keep moving forward, you will get there. The battle is in your mind. The decision is in your hands. You have come too far to quit now. Stand firm in faith, keep your eyes on the vision, and trust that everything you need is already within you. If you refuse to give up, you will rise. If you keep going, you will win. So take courage, keep pushing, keep believing, because the best is yet to come. Good luck, stay strong, and thank you.